equestrian sport, or for all the family members for sure. And yeah, this has changed all our life, and we have to think now in organizing ourselves in a different way now. And for sure, it's also changing our schedule now for the Olympics, the whole training. I can talk a little bit about my situation. It started when I was with several of my riders from the Japanese riders in Wellington for the season there, for the winter season, and for sure the coronavirus started already in January. That we first heard of it, but it really affected us the first time in middle of February, end of February, and especially then in March, where everything was cancelled afterwards. And yeah, at the first moment we were thinking about the Olympics, sure, coming up this year, but even more important was how we get home from the United States to Japan, back to Germany, back to other countries. This was the even more important question in that moment, before they locked down, before they closed the borders. And now, I mean, all of my group arrived home safely. Some of them back in Europe, some of them back in Japan. And now, for sure, we think about knowing that the Olympic Games are postponed, knowing this new situation, knowing that we have to reschedule our plans, knowing that there will be no shows in the next weeks, maybe months. For sure, this is a totally new situation. I mean, I think we have one advantage compared to other sports. We are a team sport for the team medal, but not really a team sport training every day as a team. So I think for us, together with the horse, with our partner horse, I think the advantage is that we can still keep on training every day. And this is one advantage, that we have our horse, we can train the horse. Where you only can do your sport as a team, or where you have your training facilities closed now. This is for sure for these kind of athletes. It's even harder, I think, as us as individual sport people. But for sure, and this was already, we were thinking about that already in Florida when we had to leave. What will happen in the closer time? How we can keep on training. For me as a trainer for the Japanese team, how the riders can keep on training, because the situation is like that most of the team horses, or nearly all of the team horses, are based in Europe. So, but the riders had to go back to their own country if they have no citizenship, or if they have not like a working permission in Germany. So the riders had to go back to their country, and the horses are in Europe now. Like I have a few Japanese horses in my stable now, and the riders are in Japan. And so for sure, this is a difficult situation for them, because they don't know when can I come back to my horse. Some of the riders are still in Europe, or they went back to Europe because they had a special visa. I know that, but some of the riders can't, and they don't know when can we come back to our horses, when we keep on training. Okay, when they have a professional help in the background, for sure, I have some Japanese horses in my stable. I can ride the horses, I can train the horses, but for sure, this is not the same. The riders want to be part of it, want to be with their horses, and this is for sure a difficult situation. I'm talking now quite a long time in a row. If you want to interrupt me and ask questions, for sure do that, because I don't want to go too far so far.
So Cesar? I would like to ask, what are your plans for the coming months with the training of your team?
I mean, I talked to the team riders on the phone in the last days, and for sure, like I just said, we have different situations. Some people are here in Europe. Some riders are back in Japan. So the riders here in Europe, I suggested that maybe once a week they can send videos. We can talk like over Pixio system maybe. They're like Skype. There are for sure possibilities to get a closer look to the horses for sure. Again, we are not allowed to travel right now. It's for sure in the moment more about training at home, keep the horse healthy and fit. For sure, maybe we go a little bit back, a step backwards again with the training because now we have a new situation. We have the Olympics in over a year coming, and not like you said, we were preparing over years now for this coming show in like 3 months. So that is a different situation, and for sure we have to reschedule a little bit, but it's still too early really to tell the plans what we are going to do. For sure, this is all very new, and everyone is in the moment. The most important thing is that we take care about our health at the moment.
Yeah, we all agree about it. I would like to ask if everybody has questions for Christoph, and if everybody's listening. Is the Bacarusa family listening now? Javier? Or does anybody else have questions?
I think the sound is a little bit interrupted right now. Is that? You can hear me?
I can hear you well.
Okay, I hear you well too. I don't hear anyone else.
Okay, so maybe I have everybody on mute.
That's because we're all on mute, Christoph.
Ah, there you are.
We're all on mute, and let you talk until we turn the mute off, and I just want to confer with you. I mean, I have someone on the short list for the Paralympics, and it's health is so much more important that all just takes such a back step right now. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
So Susan, what did you do on the screen to be able to talk? Because I think some other people want to talk, but we cannot hear them.
Okay, so when you tap your iPad or your phone, on the top comes a menu with a little microphone that says mute, and it should be red. And then if you tap it, it's no longer red, and then you can be heard.
So if anyone has a question, you have to touch that microphone and turn it green, right?
So that's all I wanted to say. Lots of work, and right now the most important thing is people healthy. So I'm going to put myself on mute again.
Christoph, then I would like to ask you another question. How's everything at your stable? Is everything like the horses can be ridden, or what are you doing with your horses, the other trainer, and so far?
Now the sound is a little difficult. I didn't really understand the whole question. I don't know, maybe if too many mics are on now at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, that's. I hear you like twice in a row. Yeah, I think now it's better.
Okay, I will repeat the question.
Yeah.
Then I would like to know, what are you doing in your stables for the training of the horses? Are the riders going, or only the head trainers? How are you coping with the grooms? How's that part of the business going?
I mean, like we keep a distance also with the groom, with the riders. Actually, I don't have so many riders in the moment in my stable because most of them are international riders, and they are all home right now. So it's a little lonely in the stable, but for sure we have a lot of horses to train, and we take care of everything. We disinfect everything and really try our best also for the grooms to keep a distance for sure, and stay in our microcosmos a little bit and really take care. But for sure, and this is the advantage what I just said, that we can train the horses. The athlete horse can be trained, and we can take care of that they stay fit, that they stay healthy, that they stay trained. But for sure, a little bit in this in that moment, not to know when is the next show coming. For sure, we also try to just build up strength, build up condition, less exercises. I mean, in the moment, it's all about health. Not only the humans, also for the horses, keep them fit. For sure, and I think this is a problem for sure for every country or for many countries, that the horses also get 1 year older, and some of the horses are maybe in an age where you would say, okay, this would be the perfect year age-wise, and maybe next year it's a little bit more difficult. Even more important is to keep them healthy, to build up the strength in that way that you can keep them another year. On the other hand, it's also a chance for sure to build up maybe a younger horse, and for the teams, to build up new horses. Maybe not, it would be a little early enough. Would be too early this year, and they maybe have a chance next year. So there are advantages, there are disadvantages for sure. I mean, for us, we had a super successful season in Wellington, and also outside of Wellington in Europe. I mean, the Japanese team is really growing together, and I'm really happy about that fact. And we have a young team growing together, and maybe for us, it's even better to have another year. So it's for sure a disappointment to not have the Olympics this year, but maybe it's also an advantage, on the other hand, to have another year to train, to grow together more as a team. I mean, they are always a pro and contra.
Okay, very good. And in terms of your horses, have you like designed a specific way of training, like using walkers or treadmills, or just walking around the stables and a very light work? Have you dictate to your riders or for yourself a specific way of dealing with this difficult moment?
I mean, I'm based at Hofkasselmann, and that's a very big facility with nearly everything what you need for a horse. I mean, we have treadmills, we have aqua trainer, we have a racetrack, we have the mountains next to us, so we can go hacking with the horses. I mean, as long as the weather gets better here now, and it's supposed to get better right now, and we have sunshine outside, and you can go out with the horses. I mean, the training doesn't really change, you know. It's you can stay outside, you take care that not too many riders are in the same indoor. But I really have the advantage to have a very big facility with top training conditions. So even with many riders there, we can really take care that we don't get too close to each other, and have many possibilities of different kinds of training.
If somebody has background noise, I would really appreciate if you turn the micro off. Christoph, then another question that I would like to ask is, have you heard of upcoming shows in Germany for the summer, like June, July? Are they preparing for that, or they're closing that also?
No, not yet. The only thing what I heard from some national show organizers, that they are really ready. They are in that moment they get the permission to do a show, they will be ready. It doesn't take long to prepare. They are prepared, and they will do shows in the moment they let us.
Okay. Yeah, regarding that, for instance, today I got an invitation from Hofkasselmann for their show that is called the
Future Champions.
Future Champions. Unfortunately, I had another invitation, but it seems like, you know, they're planning to go forward if things get better. So I think a good idea would be, you know, try to stay in shape with the horses. because then as soon as this goes out, and then the organizers will start having shows, and then you have to have your horses ready to go on, especially when you need to qualify, for instance, in the US or the North American Youth Championships, if they happen in August.
Yeah, that's true, absolutely. But I see the problem a little bit that we have different conditions in Europe, especially in Europe, in different countries. So, I mean, the situations or the situation in Italy, for instance, is totally different than up in the northern part of Europe, like Sweden, Finland, or even Germany, where we have less people infected, also quite a lot, but maybe less deaths people. So it's very hard to say you can't compare the European countries, how the people are infected by the coronavirus. I mean, this will be very difficult to decide for the FEI to reopen again. And maybe we have different rules in Germany, that we have the situations that we can open up the national shows a little earlier again, compared to Italy or Spain, for example. But I think there will be an overall rule from the FEI for the FEI shows. And the situation right now is totally different in every country. And so it's so hard to make any plans for the future right now, I guess.
Yeah, and I think we all have to understand that the national laws will prevail. So if you are in a country that is going through a very difficult situation like Spain or Italy right now, I mean, those national laws will prevail. And if there is a total shutdown, of course, no show will be able to happen. And if it's a country that is going over the problem and they can have shows and it's safe for everybody, then that will go on. If anybody has a question for
Cesar, maybe
I just wanted to say, maybe Bettina can say something.
Yes.
Of course, welcome, Bettina. Thank you very much for your joining.
With pleasure. No, maybe just from the FEI side, you were mentioning when we can again go on with shows. Just that you know, we've set up task force groups for each disciplines, in which our president, secretary general, the chair of the sports committee, the sports directors, legal, IT, the calendar responsible will meet and assess for each discipline exactly the situation, starting with all the shows that are cancelled, the way athletes can qualify for this year's championships, if these championships can go on. And also, of course, the whole qualification for the Olympics next year, because of course the minimum eligible requirements will be reopened. I don't have the dates yet, but that's, as you said before, maybe it's a chance for new horses to come in. So of course, although the nations in principle will keep their slots, the qualifications will be open again. So likewise for dressage, I hope that we'll have that task force meeting next week so that we can address all the issues. And now we've taken in all the cancellations of shows so far, which is quite a big number, but we'll have to manage also the way the shows will enter in the calendar again in the second part of this year, we hope, and have to manage maybe clash rules differently. And as you said before, make sure all the countries have equal chances to compete again. So of course, we work very closely with the World Health Organization and monitor this closely. It's difficult times for everybody, so we try to do our best to monitor the best way possible and you know, really consider all the athletes and give equal chances to everybody. But we're working on it, as everybody else does.
Bettina, thank you very much. I think that's very important and very useful information from the FEI. I really think that the FEI is doing, you know, their best to keep the best possible conditions for everybody. Obviously, health is of precedence for everybody. And I think what she just mentioned of keeping everybody on the same level, it's also very important. So thank you very much, Bettina, for joining and for all the efforts you're doing. We understand this is a very difficult situation for everybody, including the FEI. I cannot imagine what you're going through. So thanks a lot for being here. So
interesting times, to say the least.
Yes.
Challenging.
So does anybody have a question for Christoph? I would just like to say that as of this moment, we have 36 participants from many countries around the world. So with this one being the first, and me just trying to learn a little bit about this, how this works, I think it was a good start. And I can see here that Susan Thomas have a question, so go ahead. Susan?
Yeah.
Estás preguntando a Susan.
No, Javier.
Javier, how are you?
Fine. I know that in Spain we have a lot of problems with the farriers because my farriers came from Madrid. Come from Madrid to the finca. Finca is in Toledo, and they need a different type of permissions because everything is closed. The police is on the roads, and I don't know what exactly happened in Germany. But in Spain, it's crazy, the situation. I need to send photos of the animals that need help because the farriers has a lot of problems came to my ranch in Spain. Here in United States, I don't have any problems, but in Spain, it's crazy, the situation. Koschel, you have this type of problem. Well, I know that you are very close to Casamon, but you listen something like that in Germany?
No, not yet. In the moment, the situation is still okay. We don't know what's coming. Especially in my area, everything is very close. We have a lot of horses around, a lot of horse people around. Mm-hmm. And that means that every way everyone has to go every day is a very short way. But you are absolutely right. It can also change, and it depends also on the different counties in Germany. We are very close to North Rhine-Westphalia. We are Lower Saxony. So the border is just like 200 meters from our barn. So if we have people coming from North Rhine-Westphalia, it can be that they say, hey, you're not allowed to go to Lower Saxony anymore. This for sure, we heard something like that. This can happen. But in the moment, we're in the situation that still everything works out as long as you keep the distance. So the horses in the moment get the welfare they need. And especially at my place, like you just mentioned with Hof Kasselmann, we have a lot of horse people around there. They have their own clinic, they have their own farrier. So especially in our situation, we are very safe with that.
Thank you very much, Christoph. I have a question here from Enrique Pina. He's a Spanish trainer living in Mexico, and his question is, how do you feel being the team trainer of the host country for the Olympics?
For sure, that's a big honor. I worked for several years already for Japan and have been many times there for clinics. And last year, before April, they asked me if I want to be the official team coach. And for sure, this is a very big honor. And I really like the type of people, really like the athletes I work together with. And so for sure, yeah. It's on one hand, it's a disappointment that it doesn't take. We were all looking forward to the Olympic Games this year and to be the team trainer of the host country for sure even more. But now we know that it is postponed for 1 year, so the Olympic Games will come hopefully when this is over. This crisis is over. But for sure, it's a big honor for me. I'm very much looking forward to the Olympic Games.
Okay. At this moment, since the following talks will be about technical issues, I would like to take this opportunity to ask you all if you have had good things or bad things happening within this crisis. How have you dealt with them? Because maybe this could be important advice for the rest of the participants and the people that will watch this online, because my idea is we're recording this, so this will be uploaded in YouTube, so that the people that could not attend at this moment can watch it later. So if anybody wants to say something about how they have coped with the coronavirus, I think it would be really good. Any?
Hi, this is Janet Henderson from Canada.
Hello, Janet. Welcome.
Thank you. My internet in the country is not so bad, so if I disappear, I'll be right back. So we had a bit of a problem here in Ontario. There was a lot of confusion, and there still is. Some barns are completely closed. They do not permit owners on the property. The only thing they have to allow, obviously, a farrier for an emergency or a vet for an emergency. Some barns are acting
hoy a Santa Cruz me tuvo que ir al banco y lo paró en la calle del Castillo, lo pararon.
Anyway, so there's been so much confusion, and I'd like to know what's happening in the country. Like, my barn is okay because I'm small, so I schedule my boarders, and we do a lot of bleaching.
Yo ahora fui al Hiperdino, primero al Corte Inglés a ver lo del tinte, encontré el tinte, pero luego no encontré la brocha. Luego me fui al Hiperdino que estaba al lado, y ya caminando me fui al Mercadona.
I'm sorry, who's speaking in Italian, but we don't understand.
No, el Hiperdino. Me fui
Hello.
caminando al mercado. Luego fui al cajero a sacar dinero, pero tengo que pagar.
Hello.
Mira, yo me creía que los tintes traían la brochita. No, hay que comprarla. Seguro que Arlín te lo puede dar, mamá.
I don't know if you're hearing, but I think somebody's talking.
Mira, yo pude haberlo hecho el viernes cuando empezó la cuarentena porque fui a peinarme.
Cesar, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but we have an interruption from another person. And Susan, do you know how to fix this?
I have no idea. It's not at my house.
Okay. But I can hear you well. Do you want to say something now?
Yeah, I'll just make
Concerns
with the farrier. I'm in Guadalajara. We went to phase 3 today, and we're all on lockdowns. So how a lot of horses want food. Some have front shoes, some have foreshoes. And I bought a duct tape. And if you're curious, my groom is living on the property. He'll take the shoes off, and he can put duct tape on the horse's hooves until the farrier is allowed to come back.
Excuse me for a second. I think I have to mute everybody so that we can only hear the person that is. But Carlos Agüera, you're here. Can you tell us? Carlos.
Álvaro.
How do I mute everybody? So the person that is supposed to talk.
No one in my house speaks Italian.
No, I know. I'm sure it's
okay. So anyway, so I don't know if you heard that. We went on phase 3 lockdown today, and I have tons and tons of duct tape at my barn. And if my groom needs to, he can take the shoes off and put duct tape, and he, the cushion and all that until the farriers come back. I have a ring and whatever. What is your recommendation, Christoph and Cesar, as far as keeping the horses strong and supple and ready, so that when the barn's open, we can ride the horses?
Porque no viste cuando estaba así.
Marta, ven.
Oh my God.
Cesar, Cesar,
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna be silent.
if you go to
Thank you very much. I'm
participants,
gonna ask everybody to turn the microphones on. Because
Cesar,
then we cannot continue.
if you go to participants,
Yes.
you can click on everybody's microphone.
Okay.
And you'll be able to tell who it is because it will show green as the background noise happens. Hi, Susanna.
Hi.
Okay, I think
It's somebody who does not have a name. It just shows a blank as their attendee name.
now.
Aquí en la cresta, haces así, lo abres y está.
Okay.
Ábrelo.
But I think we're better now. We need to take a lesson for the next one.
No me duele. ¿No le duele?
So, Christoph, did you hear the last question so that you can comment about it? Or no?
I mean, like, I understood the last sentence maybe. Was the question how I would suggest to keep the horses fit and healthy right now in this situation? Was that around something like that?
Yes, I think so.
I wasn't 100% sure. I mean, I can only speak about me because we are back in Germany now, coming from a totally different climate from Florida, where the horses were like in a show mode with great weather. Now we're back in Germany, and it's very cold here right now. But the weather will change soon, so I suggest, especially where you have no shows right now, I really take care that I go out now into the sun after that long winter and tender them out, go on the racetrack, do strength work with transitions. And I mean, where we have no shows, there's not so much about exercises right now. It's more like really building up strengths. If you have the possibility, do different things every day, ride on different surfaces, go into the woods if you can do, if you climb up the mountain, if there's a possibility, go on the racetrack, do something nice with your horse, not riding indoors anymore after a long winter.
Okay, thank you very much, Christoph. Does anybody have any other questions or any recommendations to improve the quality of these class?
I would love to say, if I may, can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. I'm a videographer. I've done a lot with production work, and I'm working on a system whereby we can live stream a ride to the computer, put it on a Zoom meeting, and then the clinician instructor can be talking directly to the rider in real time. And I wonder if that would be welcomed on this platform, if I can get all the pieces put together for that.
That would be wonderful.
That sounds great, yeah.
Yeah, if you can send me, you know, your details, and then we set up one of our conferences for that thing. That's great. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay, so if you don't have any more questions, I would like to first thank Christoph a lot for joining us today, and to tell everybody that the next conference will be on Friday, 5 p.m. Colorado time, because we will have Janet Foy, a 5-star dressage judge, and Mike Kosinski, 4-star dressage judge, both from the US, talking about how the judging of dressage has developed over the past 30 years. And of course, we will have to comment about what the future can bring for us. If you also have some other topics that you want to include, you're welcome to send me information either to my email or to my Facebook. I already have some other recommendations. I'll try to do probably 2 of these conferences at a week. I think that's enough. today, I think for being the first time, we had 31 people, 32 people alive at the same time. And I think a lot of people will be able to see this on YouTube. So I'm happy with the result of our first attempt. We had some technical difficulties, but I promise I will learn about from the problems that we ran with today. Christoph, again, thank you very much. And everybody, thanks a lot for joining. If anybody wants to leave or give us a final comment, you're all welcome.
Cesar, thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you, Christoph.
A great idea.
Javier, bye.
Thank you, Christoph.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
My best to Trisha.
Take care. Stay all healthy, huh?
Bye-bye, everybody.
You too, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. See you soon.